let's go, guys.
5:30 somewhere.
Call the meeting to order.
Okay.
As required by law, the town may audio or video record this meeting. Any person intending to either audio or video record this open session is required to inform the chair. Call to order. Public announcements. Beach is open Saturday, June 22nd. Stickers are passed required through Labor Day. Okay. Old business. Splash pad update. Joe Powers. Unfortunately, Joe Powers is not with us tonight. He's on vacation, I understand. But I think we need to, as a group, talk about the last meeting that was held between Mark Lear and Eric. And I think you were there as well, David. So let's get an update on the splash pad so we all know what was done, what was said at that meeting and where are we with that discussion.
So basically we met a couple weeks ago with the town administrator about the concept of a splash pad, locations, everything to do with splash pad. He, I think, is in favor of putting it across the street by the land that's in front of White House Field. His vision, from what I see, is the splash pad, maybe the futsal that police department are getting, and the ropes course all in one area. The negative part was that I was setting up possible times to meet with the company and meet with the commission. He's kind of put me on a cease and desist for that until he lets me know how he wants to proceed. Wow. He does not want us having too much interaction with companies in advance to a bid process, which is kind of how we've always done things because we need to find out the details of the project, how much we're going to be asking for. So now I'm waiting on him to take the lead on the project. I mean, did you get any other?
Okay, is that you finished?
Yeah.
Dave, Ilya, why don't you go next? I think you were a member of that subcommittee, if you will.
I think Eric, you said it all. That's kind of where he put it as a cease and desist and said, it falls in my court now, so to speak. Yeah, okay. I personally was not favorable of that. I did ask him, what does that mean for us? Or as far as what if we don't agree with, say, the location or how he wants to, work it or so on, because ultimately the rec is running it once it's in, wherever it goes. And it was kind of is the answer that I got. So okay. That's really, there's not much more to say than that.
Okay. Thank you. David, you were there. Your comments, please?
I have no comments.
No comments to make?
Why is he even involved?
All right, before we go on, I'd like to just make a comment myself, and then we'll go around the table. I'm a little despondent, a little miffed that this is taking place the way it's taking place. It's shaping up the way it's shaping up. My sense is, and my personal feelings are, that if he's going to take over this project as the town manager, then perhaps he should be taking over getting the septics down at the Sand Pond, the bathroom facilities down at the Potter and Memorial, the fencing that we have for CPC. If he wants to take on a project that we have initiated and we've done our homework on to a point, then maybe he should take over everything. I think what I'm concerned about is, what is our role as a commission? What are our specific responsibilities? What is our role, and how far does that role go into the town hall? I think we need to get some clarification. I personally invited him to be here. I went down to the selectman's office and I asked him to be here to clarify the whole splash pad meeting that you folks had, and I also followed up with an email. And unfortunately, he's not here tonight, but I think we need to have another meeting with him sometime in the future so we can get a good sense of what this commission is all about in terms of what specifically we are, what our roles are, what our responsibilities are before we proceed any further. Now, Frank, you've got an issue.
I don't know why he's even involved. It's our job to come up with programs for youth and adults in the town of Harwich. It's not his job.
Right. What he said
why is he involved?
I think what he would say, I'm not saying I agree, but is that when we submit CPC applications, he's ultimately the one that signs off on those to go before the selectmen and then before finance and before town. So he wants to be kind of the lead, I guess, because he's the one ultimately signing it, right? I mean, that's kind of the impression I got from him.
Selectmen can overrule him too.
Yeah.
I know.
Well,
Okay,
I don't know.
let me go around to John. You have comments you want to make, please?
My concern is this should have never gone to town hall
Absolutely.
before we voted. It had no reason whatsoever getting to the level, and I understand because you brought this up, or David brought it up last month, that that was gonna be the new process. We came to you with our projects, you brought them to the TA. We didn't even vote this,
No,
and now it's on his big screen.
I didn't.
That's
bring it
wrong.
to you. Yeah.
I know that. That's wrong. There is nothing right about it. And that's all I have to say about that.
Brian, any comments?
I'm the newest member here, so I'm learning the processes.
We're all learning this, Brian, we're all learning this process.
I've been here 2
I
years,
guess-
still learning.
So Joe, if our town administrator said it was over, what's next? What's the next timeline? How do we hold someone
don't know.
accountable for that?
We don't
Those are
know.
my questions.
He told me he'd be in touch with me to get the ball rolling on it, and I'm waiting on that.
Yeah, you might wait.
Well, that's the point I think
Can
we're all
we be-
concerned
can we
about.
be-
You know,
can we
he's,
send an
Yeah, oh,
email
yeah,
a week?
yeah. Yeah, I'll touch base with him again.
Every
okay.
Monday. Time out email.
David, thank you, Brian. David, any comments to make? Bill?
I agree with everybody's opinion, but also what does that mean for other projects?
Yeah,
That's the point I made
that's
there.
a perfect question.
The town administrator has never been involved in projects like building a field or anything. All the projects we've done, has never been
This is
involved.
what I tried to allude to, that if he's taken over this one, perhaps he should take over the projects that we've been waiting for the last 3 or 4 years through CPC without getting the kind of action that we want to get moving forward. If, you know, we're talking about moving forward. How can we move forward if we don't have the support and so on to move forward? I don't understand it myself. But anyway, anything else, Phil?
Not good.
No,
John, please?
We have a darn good track record of coming up with projects,
Right.
getting a CPC application in, and getting them completed.
Yeah.
For some reason, that has changed.
Right.
And I understand, I think it has a lot to do with procurement. The way things were done, I guess, doesn't matter anymore. My concern is, one, nothing should go to town hall before it's approved by us. We have a priority list. What if we have a priority list and that goes up to town hall, and town hall says, well, I don't like that, we're gonna take 4 first and 3 second, and number 1's gonna go to the bottom. That's another concern.
Yeah.
The other one is, if administration is going to take these projects over, as I'm being led to believe, that's only one project. That's not the other things that we've discussed, fencing, a new infield for for Brooks Park, excuse me, a pavilion for Outback. I may be wrong, but I don't think that administration has the bandwidth with everything else they've got going on to get those things designed, engineered, application in by October 1st. I just don't see it.
Okay. So I think our next move is that if we're going to have it, and it's going to be the next chairman's decision, if you're going to meet in July, I think we should try again to have Joe come before the commission so we can get some clarity in terms of where we're going with all of this. I think that not only the splash pad, but I think there are not other underlying issues that we need to discuss in terms of, you know, who we are, what we are, and where we're going from this point forward, what our responsibilities are, and you know, I think it's important to get this settled before we go to the next fiscal year, if you will, with the work that we have to do. Okay, is that something that we need to consider as we move forward? Okay.
Absolutely, because I
All right.
also feel CPC is right around the corner.
Yeah.
I mean, those
October.
come up really,
Right.
really quick, and if that's not on us to submit that,
Right.
who is it on? Is it being submitted? And if it is on us, we need that ample amount of time to get it done.
Okay, I think we're all in agreement that that's our next move. I guess before we go any further with splash pad, I think we need to really get our some better clarity on.
Let's be clear.
Yeah.
Eric's been told we are not to discuss or do anything with the splash pad.
We're not doing
It's
it.
now at second floor, correct?
That makes a lot of
Until I
sense.
hear from him, yeah.
So, just so we're all on the same,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But he hasn't told us directly.
told Eric and
Yeah.
David and Lee are in a meeting.
Oh, he told.
Yeah.
Oh, I have one.
Okay, let's go on to B, staffing details, update. Eric, do you want to give us an update on where we are with staffing?
Staffing, we're in good shape staffing. The lifeguards started, beaches open on Saturday. We have full camp staff. We have plenty of gate attendants. We have swim instructors. Those lessons start on July 8th, I believe. And we found a tennis instructor, which I'll hit on later. It's not an everyday tennis, but it's something to get us rolling. And I'll update that in John's report for tonight.
Good.
I mean,
So we're good on staff.
Okay, thank you. C, signage, pickleball signage update. Where are we with that?
Wait a minute.
Yeah, wait. where-
You're on the wrong agenda.
Where am
You're
I?
on the
That's the
old
one
one.
I have.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I was
I printed it this morning.
Because we missed the dog request.
Yeah,
This is the one. right
Another
here.
dog request.
I don't know why.
Down here.
I've got the same
Okay.
one.
Yeah, San
I have
Juan.
it's much shorter.
Yeah, this is the shorter, yeah.
Those two,
Yeah,
then
that's
the
what I
dog,
got.
then
I
new
got the old-
business.
There you go.
Do we have the right one?
You have the
Yes,
right one.
yes.
Okay.
We do.
Yep.
All right, so we did the splash pad update, Sand Pond Memorial Bathroom House.
Yep. I could update you on that.
Status.
Here you go, Dave.
No, that's me.
Oh,
Oh, that's what I
He has
have.
the right one.
all right. So, Sand Pond, as we know, we're short money. We need to get a concrete restroom over there because nobody was bidding on the wooden restroom, and even the wood one that came in was way above what we were looking for. So we're going to have to ask for additional funding for Sand Pond restroom. The septic is in. That's ready to go. And then as far as senior memorial restroom, I spoke with the guys that came out that are doing the design. They said they're almost complete with it. They need another copy of the architectural design of the bathroom itself, which I sent right to them. So now that they have that, we should have the
Is that the
design.
gentleman that came down the
Yes.
engine
Yep.
that day, that morning? No.
Yep, you were there. Yep.
And
Jake.
so what is he's doing what now?
The design,
Okay.
which will then make us be able to put out the RFP
RFPs.
for the septic.
Okay.
There'll be two separate RFPs, the septic system
In the building.
and the restroom.
Okay. John?
Well, does anybody else have?
May I ask a question?
Yeah.
So what happened, I'm sorry.
No.
My name's Marilyn Reedy, I'm just a
No,
private
let
citizen.
me go through the commission members first, please.
So, did we get a price for a cement one for Sand Pond?
No, not yet. We got a bid for the wooden ones
For the wooden one?
that Highway had requested we go for the wooden one. And that was way high.
We may have to go back to, I know Highway is not fond of them, but
Go back to concrete.
they've been the go-to for.
Yep.
And if Jared, if I may ask, Mr. Chair?
Yes, Jim.
Jared, refresh my memory on what the downside of the cement ones are. Do you know? If you don't,
I don't see a downside.
It was more Sean that had.
okay, I didn't want to put you on the spot.
They're more expensive.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe that's gonna have to be,
Concrete.
because now we have to go back to request more money for when we use Sand Pond.
Okay.
But the bids, by the time we get that money, could be more than what we have and what we're requesting.
Right.
So we're just chasing our tail on these bathrooms because we're never getting caught up.
I'll get a new quote.
Can we get some further action on both?
I'll get a new quote on a concrete restroom, like an updated one. We've done them a lot of times, but they're constantly going up, unfortunately.
Oh, of course they have, at
Yeah.
least we know what we want.
Right.
Yeah, yep, okay.
Eric, we got 170,000 available for the Potter Memorial.
Yep.
Is that within the ballpark? And-
Yeah.
and that's in the range.
That one we have the money because of the money that the group is helping out with senior softball.
Well, I understand that in talking with some of the folks from the highway, that the biggest expense is going to be the electrical system, bringing a wire down from the top up by the White House and bringing a wire all the way down to where the bathroom facilities are. That could be a very, very expensive. I think John and I spoke very quickly about solar system in terms of being able to do something more cost effective in terms of that project. I don't know whether or not that's something that's doable. The other thing that when the engineer was there, we talked about two things. One was a regular septic program vis-a-vis a tight tank. And it was his contention that a tight tank would be less expensive and would be just as durable and just as useful as a septic. So my sense is that if the tight tank's the way to go and we can save some money, why not go with the tight tank rather than a septic?
And I did mention that to that design company that came out. So he was going to send us a design on a tight tank as well.
Okay.
System.
David?
Mr. Chairman, just to go back to San Juan, would the board remind me how many times we've gone to CPC for monies on San Juan so far?
Once.
It was only once.
Yeah.
There was never a second.
We haven't spent the money we have.
No, only the septic.
The
Yeah.
septic.
It was 37,000, I think,
Yeah,
if I
that-
remember,
yeah.
for the septic.
Yep.
37,000.
$37,000 for the septic system.
Yep.
So the balance is how much?
22 when I did the first estimate.
I
Yeah.
believe it's
About
right around-
$30,000.
Right around 100. Yeah.
So you're probably looking at another 35, 45,000?
Yeah.
About-
Probably right
yeah.
around that ballpark. Yep.
Between
Yeah, I think
35
that
and
was in the notes from
45,000.
the
Yeah,
email.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
between 30
Sure.
and 40,000.
Okay. John, please.
Why are we discussing this?
Because it's on the agenda. San Juan and Memorial Bathroom. It's a report that we're getting.
I read
But
it
we
on,
started this conversation
Oh,
by saying these appear to be taken out of our jurisdiction.
I see.
Oh, I-
So I
don't-
personally want to sit here for an hour and talk about projects that we may have no control or
Yeah,
say
but John, I
over.
don't know if these have been taken out of our jurisdiction. That's why we need some clarity. If all of these are gonna be taken out of
Why do
our
we exist?
jurisdiction,
Yeah.
then, again, the point is,
That's
why are we
jumping to
here?
a conclusion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is?
She had a comment.
What you just
too.
said.
Hold on. Yes, sir.
My name's Marilyn Reedy, I'm just a private citizen, but I live near San Juan and utilize it a lot. All I wanted to say, I think that the actual conversation has answered a lot of my questions. I just didn't know if it was gonna drop at that point and we were gonna talk about how it could go forward, but it seems like you got the discussion on the right track, thank you.
We're trying to move forward with it. And sometimes, you know, the little government here works very slowly in getting things done. Yes,
My
sir.
understanding is that the septic has not been connected to the existing reservoir, is that correct?
It is now.
It is now?
Yeah.
So the porta potty's going away?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, good.
Are there porta potties there now?
Yeah, at the moment.
Okay,
Should be
you all
gone, but they may not have picked
Good.
it up yet.
Yeah, sure,
Good.
we might stay for the rest.
Good.
Can we-
Sure. You're welcome.
It's
A lot of fun.
Exciting.
We had a lot of fun.
It's okay.
Okay, we all set with item B?
Yeah.
Okay, we got a
can read
letter.
that if you want.
Yeah, why don't you do that?
So this is from Becky Mendable. I spoke to her on the phone. I asked her to put it in writing to you guys. I'll read it and then just give you a synopsis of our conversation. It says, "Hi Eric, people of all ages walk or run on the track behind the Harwich Community Center. Some of those folks include their dogs, big dogs, small dogs, most are unleashed. I walk the track daily, weather permitting, for the month prior to May 29th, preparing for hip surgery. Now I walk the track daily to strengthen my hip area post-surgery. One big problem is the loose dogs, very dangerous for seniors who are walking just because the weather is good. Most dangerous for anyone healing from surgery. Thompson's Field is specifically for dogs and their owners. Of course, people want to use the community center field, so please post more than one sign because folks access the track from many directions." So she wants signs out there that enforce the leash law, which is also attached in your packet. I see no problem with it. I know, we put signs everywhere for everything. But I have no problem ordering some leash law enforced signs or leash your dog, as long as you guys are okay.
For a large complex like that, where would you put them? All around?
Well, I think one spot would be the main entrance by the bathroom,
Yeah.
and then maybe one around the other side too, just so people can see it.
Are there other like trail
Yeah,
access areas?
That's the main access, but there's a couple other, like anywhere you can get on.
Yeah.
Through like a gap in the fence.
Yeah.
We don't need 17.
No.
Yeah, like 2 or 3, just spot
Around
it
the track,
around.
yeah.
So people know, they can't say there's no sign.
Right.
That's-
Yeah.
You must see it a lot of.
3, yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
I think you only need 3 signs to be fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
David?
So in my experience over there's a lot of people that bring their dogs up with those round balls that they throw from there.
Yeah.
So with that, we're gonna exclude those?
Well, no, the leash law says that, obviously, if you have no verbal control over your dog, you must have a leash. But you can have a verbal leash, whereas if you have control over your dog to the point where you can call them and they will come and they will not take off and jump on somebody, that is considered leashing your dog.
Phyllis?
Unfortunately, the leash law people have different opinions of what voice control means,
I know.
unfortunately.
That can't be solved here tonight.
No, it
No,
can't.
no.
It can't. And I just want to comment on her letter that Thompson Field is not specifically for dogs and their owners.
No.
It is not for that at all. It's the dogs should be the same thing there.
It's not a dog park.
It's not a dog
But
park.
it's as close as we have.
Yeah, I
Yes,
think it's
yeah.
the
And there are a
most-
lot of people who won't go there anymore.
Yeah, it's the most
I won't go there, and I
used spot
live
for
very
dogs.
close to it. And I've been on the bike path when dogs have come at me, and the owner yells at me when I say something. And someone put up a sign that said, on the bike path, that bikes should stop for dogs. Just so you know. I wanted to take it down.
That's the Trailways Committee.
Yeah, well,
Do we need a motion to make sure that we get the signage done? Is
I
that-
don't think we need a motion. I can go ahead and do it.
Okay. You're gonna put up three
Yeah.
signs, get them done
So I'm
ASAP.
trying to understand, what happened with Thompson's Field with the dog park?
Been over there lately?
Not about
it's
that.
not a dog park.
Not a
I
dog
haven't
park.
been there in a while.
People from many towns come there, and people have gotten, right,
Yep.
and people have gotten
We don't
attacked
walk
by
there
other
with the
people's
kids.
dogs, and other people's dogs have gotten attacked. by
It's just
other
known
people's
as a
dogs.
place where people take their dogs and just let them.
From other
Go.
towns.
Wow,
Um,
I didn't know that.
And what's
Yeah.
the sign gonna say?
I'll research it. I'm thinking dog leash law enforced.
Dogs must be leashed.
Dogs must be
What do we
leashed.
have at the beach?
It's
gotta be
something
something similar,
That's
right?
more like no dogs permitted.
Right,
You can't
okay,
have a
that's
dog.
true.
Yeah,
That's true.
but I think
But we put signs at senior softball, did we not?
There,
Jared?
it says no dogs allowed
No
on the
dogs
field.
and
On
they're
the
supposed to-
field, not around the field.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we can't do
No
that.
dogs allowed on the
I think dogs
fields.
must be leashed.
You
Keep
can't
it
get into
simple.
this building with a leash all the time.
And don't say please.
No, please.
Well, because that's what's on the
Yeah.
bike path.
Yeah.
Please means
Eric,
it'll
take
be
care of that
moved.
when you.
Mr. Chair?
Yeah.
Yes.
Leash law
Just
enforced.
Yes,
I don't
ma'am.
go to Thompson's Field all the time, but I do have a dog. And I think one of the draws about it, it's not just that people let their dogs off leashes. It's that there's a big field where they can throw balls all the way across it and
Same
the
here.
dogs chase it. So if there isn't some sort of a clear mechanism for how people can do that, dogs need exercise. So I'm just saying.
Yeah. Does the high school, I'm trying to think, I'm sure they have something.
Signs. Yeah, I could check.
They might have just a no dog
Yeah,
policy, I
probably.
think, because they want to keep those fields.
Yep.
So,
Pristine.
yeah.
I just mentioned that.
Why don't you investigate that, that's
Sure.
the way to put the
Can we-
signs together.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
clarify this for me. If we put up signs, the dogs have to be on a leash. The folks that bring their dogs back here to exercise them with the balls, they'll still be able to do that?
As long as they
As
have
long as they-
verbal control over their dog.
Okay, so that's the semantics.
That's the
It has
state
to be a
leash law.
verbal,
Yeah.
okay.
If you go down to Kelly Field, for example, I know that down at Kelly Field, there are guys that bring their dogs down there and let them run, but they're controlled. They throw a ball, the dog runs after the dog, the ball brings the dog, the ball back and so on. They do that in order to get exercise, but it's under a controlled situation. They're not just allowed to run around. Vis-a-vis all the people that walk around the exterior of the field, they're all leashed. Okay, they're all on leashes.
I just see the folks back here, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
I mean, they pick up after their pets,
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
it's, if you're there long enough to watch.
they're just getting some exercise.
I think
Yeah,
it's, the
yes.
signs are there more for the people who are not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
And it's the same theme as everywhere else that we've dealt
Exactly.
with. The few tend to ruin it for the many, you
Yep.
know, so.
I think just mass state leash law
Yeah.
enforced is perfect, something simple,
Yep.
very simple.
Yep.
Are we good?
Thank you.
Good. Let's go on to new business, tennis lessons, the activities report.
Yep, so John was gonna be here tonight, but he actually had to start a new program. So he's at Brooks Park starting a new program right now. So he gave me a written report that I will read and I could certainly elaborate on if there's questions. This summer, in addition to our summer camp, we have the following programs taking place: Shooting Stars basketball camp, baseball batting practice, pickup lacrosse games, flag football, swim lessons with registration opening on the 27th, gymnastics, and a youth tennis clinic. After a thorough search, we were able to find a tennis instructor to teach Tuesdays and Thursdays, July 9th through August 8th. The lessons will take place from 5:30 to 6:30 for ages 5 to 8, and 6:30 to 7:30 for ages 9 to 12. The cost of the program is going to be $40 for 10 lessons over the 5-week span. In other news, we're looking to add open gym on Thursday nights at the 204 and are working to confirm the gym's availability as well as beginning to plan out the fall programs. So that's John's report. Yeah, we had a lot of trouble finding a tennis instructor, but he found one. I believe it's one of his contacts at his old position. So that was great, and we're hoping to expand it from there. So.
Good job.
And then as far as, the other one, the Thursday open gym, it's not so much an open gym, but you know how we have our over 55 basketball program?
Mm-hmm.
There's been requests for like an over 18 basketball program, like a young adult one. So it would be a registered program. It wouldn't be just an open gym. So it'd be a registered program. It would run the same way with a point person and everything.
Good.
So.
Good job.
Can I just ask you a question on John, which
Sure.
he might have a better answer, or you
Yep.
might have a, I saw on social media that there is a mascot, which, one, I love the Harwich logo. I think
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
awesome. I love everything that's been going out. You guys are doing amazing. Monomoy's the Sharks.
Yep.
So
Monomoy what?
Monomoy
Is the
is the Sharks, and so I saw on social media that it's the Harwich Seals.
Yeah.
Kind of sounds contradictory to me, and I don't know. I don't know
The
what
Sharks
the...
Well, we're not the
Steals,
school.
right?
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
you're not the
oh.
schools, but it's just Monomoy in general, like the other rec use the Sharks, everything, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Seals
okay.
was a little, Seals are kind of weird.
We're still kind of workshopping.
Well, we use,
hardly ever have
we use
seals.
Mariners.
Right.
We had 2
Sharks.
dead ones wash up.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Mariners, the Sharks, those are kind of cool.
Yeah.
They're cool ones.
Yeah, we can work on it still.
That's,
Yeah.
I love the idea of
We
the
haven't bought any
mascot.
costumes yet.
Yeah, like I love the idea of it, and I love
Yeah.
using it as a way to get out to the community and
Yeah.
the people and stuff, but I heard seals, I was like, eh.
Okay, we'll keep workshopping.
Yeah, something
Okay.
cooler.
Yeah,
Good report. Tell John that was very well
I
done.
will.
Yes.
I will.
And everything looks great.
Yeah, tell him we're very pleased with.
He's a dynamo.
I love
He's got-
Paul's already talked
Okay.
about.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Shooting Stars, we've had that in the past, right?
Oh, that's been going on for years. Yeah,
Do we have a
that's
program for the new basketball court?
the new. Yeah, he's going to have an outdoor session later in the summer. He's doing indoor, and then he's going to do some outdoor stuff too.
I think we were on the outdoor.
They do a little of both.
Pass on that we're very pleased with his
Will do.
efforts and on the programs that he's
Will do.
initiated, okay?
Yeah.
The next item B, we're gonna put on hold until
Yeah.
Eric has more time to put some information.
And I just
together
wanted to ask too, like exactly what we're looking for in that report. It had been requested like a fee waivers reductions, the list of who's been waived, how much has been paid. Is that all that everybody's looking for?
I think, John, you asked for that.
I asked for one thing,
Oh, okay,
and it was strictly who's been billed and who's paid.
okay.
And I'm not talking this year, I'm talking last year.
The full, okay, I got you.
That's what, I don't need all this
Last
other
four.
stuff, Eric.
Okay, so
Thanks
it's
for just,
last
do we
year,
have a spreadsheet that shows?
billed paid. Yeah, Elaine has something. Yep,
Perfect.
okay, I'll get that to you.
We
And
good
I'll
on
send it out too.
We good on that? You all set, John?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Additional staffing needs for a special town meeting. I put that on the agenda because I was very concerned that we didn't get our full-time person that we had initiated this past fiscal year. We talked about getting another program specialist to help out with the programs that we have available. And the select board decided not to support that concept or that need at this point. So I did make a contact with one of our select board members and asked what needs to be done by our department and by our director in order to get at least some part-time help if possible. Well, let's start off slowly if we can. If they're not going to support a full-time because of all of the maturations of health and everything else, the health insurance and the costs and so on, perhaps they could do something like 15 hours or 18 hours or whatever, so that we could at least get some additional help in the office to see if we can support some additional programs, and also to give some help to Leah I mean to Elaine, because she, she is really doing a good job. And if we can get some support there, let's get some support where we can get the support.
And
So the select board member indicated that there was a memo that they put together indicating that these are the requirements they were looking at in order to get the potential of additional help at the special town meeting. I never saw it, and then Eric never saw it
They
either.
never shared it with you?
They never shared it with Eric, and I said to him, select board member, send it to me, and we will then take some action with Eric and get this thing moving so that if we satisfy your needs in terms of what you require us to do, hopefully you will support some kind of additional help with the department. So again, I'm still waiting. I haven't heard a word, and I don't know where we're going with all of that. But that's an update of what I've done and what we need to do in order to get the kind of support that we need from the select board if we're going to get some help, particularly for the special town meeting. Again, we got to get this thing moving.
what I'd like to see, I mean, obviously the full-time position didn't go through. A lot of times, once you get over that 21 or 20 hours, they get scared because of the insurance and all the other benefits. Right now, it's me, it's Elaine, it's John full-time, and then Phyllis Cudmore, who's 19 hours a week. If I could get another 19-hour-a-week person, that would help quite a bit as well.
But again, if you can't get 19, I think if we can get 15 hours to start with, anything we can get is better than not having a person available. Yes, Brian?
So, I guess asking for both of you, are you looking more for, or is your idea more admin help or running programs?
Running programs first.
Yeah.
My personal bent on this is that if we had another part-time personal program specialist on a part-time basis, again, we might be able to initiate some further programs in the fall and during the winter months and so on.
Yeah.
But again, town meeting has got to determine that. The select board members have got to support that need.
Yeah.
Okay, and that position. But again, we need to hear from them in terms of they're not supporting it right now because they're not sure what the purpose is of that person, what would be the need of that person. We've got to justify that need and say, this is where we're anticipating our programs to be in the fall and the winter and hopefully into the spring and summer.
So if we
So help us out.
concretely outline that and say to run programs.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Because I have a feeling they may come back and say, administratively, the website's taking load off.
Right.
yeah.
So a lot of loads off now because there's no more spreadsheets.
Yeah.
Made.
Yep.
So I think, adding, that would
Focus
help
on
add
the
programs
programs.
for adults, kids, whatever.
You're right. Okay. David?
Is there that's a good point with the admin and the program specialist. Is there a letter that can be put together by the director that we could all sign and CC to the entire board and to the town administrator? And
Indicating.
then pushing
Yeah.
Our
that we
need for
need this process to take place.
Okay.
And we have to have the programs that
Well,
say we have the need.
Right.
Well, there's the person to do it.
yeah. Go ahead.
You gotta come up
John?
with programs where you need help.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to execute that. I'm just
Okay.
saying, let's get it together, put it together, whatever the price is. We'll sign it, send it to them.
Can you prepare something?
Sure.
Okay. Let's look at that, okay, as we move forward. All right, CPC priority list, guys, number D, letter D, here we go.
So I kind of just wanted to have like a preliminary list like we do every year of our priorities going forward into CPC season. I know now after our discussion earlier, not sure where anything stands, but I think it still would be beneficial to us to have some kind of list. I know the splash pad's there. The other ones on my radar are obviously, we talked about it earlier, additional funding for Sand Pond restroom. I still really think it would be beneficial to have a pavilion out back for our summer camp.
Anything else? The other one would be the baseball.
Yeah, and the last
Brooks
one,
Park.
Brooks Park infield needs replacement. Jared actually got the first preliminary initial quote, about 120 grand.
Jerry, you want to make any comments
Yeah.
about
I mean, I
that?
got it all right here if you guys want.
Now, let's have.
We had a couple,
Hold on,
and we made like
let's
80. Yeah, ended up being 120 grand, which is, they do everything. They come in and they'll bang it out in like 2 days.
What did we
3
pay
days.
for White House?
White House was 25 way back then.
25?
In fact, when I had
That was
this,
what, 9 years ago, you said?
that was 2008.
Oh,
So
Can't even-
things are just going crazy.
yeah.
And whatever, we got more?
One more,
Are you saying 58,000?
No, so that's what I thought when I first started. I was like, oh, that's a steal.
Yeah.
And then I saw the back page.
Okay, so it's
And I
not
was
the
like,
front
oh,
page.
okay.
No. The very, very last one, just flip the whole thing over. There you go.
Oh, I see.
So 118,000 you're talking about?
Yep.
Full restoration, that's everything, bases, home plates, rubbers, the whole 9 yards, new mound,
Thorough.
everything. New sod, they're coming with big pieces of sod.
turnkey.
Turnkey, yes. And then we'll be, we won't have much downtime because of it,
Yep.
Yep.
Has that infield ever been,
No, that infield wasn't too good when I was a kid. And now it's gotten worse. I mean, it looks good when you drive by it,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, but when you're on it, you
Huge
see,
lip.
there's lips, you can take a ground ball, and whoa, what was
We
that?
play there a lot, my team that I coach, and the grass down to the grass down to the dirt, you get some serious hot spots.
There's
Yeah.
some tricks out there,
Yeah.
yeah.
Jared, if this infield was indeed supported, what do you feel is the rating of that field as a baseball field? How high a rating do you have?
If it was all restored,
Yeah.
if it was all restored, I'll give it an A minus. The only problem with it is it's not big enough. I think 320 in the center
That's
is
right,
a
yeah.
little small.
Even center field
So,
line.
because they squeezed it in
Yeah,
way
the-
back in the day.
The right field line is very short.
Short, center field's short for baseball.
Mhm.
Right field's short.
a lot of high schools would probably love to have that field.
That'd be a
Yeah.
home
Even though
run
it's
center.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I played in JV, I played on it.
Yeah.
I hit a few home runs there. I never hit any at White House, but,
How much use are we getting out of,
Brooks gets a
Oh,
good
lots.
amount of
Yeah, a lot of
use.
use.
all the time.
And right now they're using it. It's like
Yeah,
every
that's,
night I drive
8 o'clock,
by.
7 o'clock
That's
in the
chilling
morning,
out there
mornings
right
they're
now.
over there, lining up and setting up their.
Yeah.
so that's
Yep.
one of
And
your
I know
priorities?
the
I
freshman
think that would
baseball
be-
team uses it
Yep.
sometimes
Yep.
too.
Yeah,
So.
so keep that field looking as mint as possible.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it customary to get another bid?
Oh, we'll get, yeah, like.
Yeah, we get, yeah.
We just get
Thinking,
the,
you
we
know,
get the
maybe
quotes now that's just to get an idea of what we're gonna ask for
Okay.
the CPC article.
Just, there's
Yeah.
not many companies that do
Yeah, I
this
was
kind of
gonna
stuff.
say.
Yeah,
Right.
it's
This
very
guy,
narrow.
he does
We
the
always
whole
do.
East Coast.
You probably know that.
We send it
Oh,
out,
yeah.
we send out an RFP, we ask for bids.
Yeah,
A number
just
of
because
bids.
he gave the quote doesn't mean he'll have the job. It's
Okay.
not the bid. it's
Just
not
We can look for the low bidder. on this. Low
Thank
bid.
you.
Okay,
So I don't know-
anything else
So they
about?
ask us to prioritize?
Yeah, let's go.
Do we want to do a list, or did you, I mean, I know in the past,
We
have
put a
we done
list
it here,
together.
or?
No, we did it here and
We did it right
voted.
here.
Okay.
And
that
then we
works.
voted
One,
on
we
priority.
did a 1-2 down,
And
whatever.
it was never, the first day was just
Yeah.
a straw poll.
Yeah, and
Yep,
see
yep.
where
And
we're
then
at.
after we,
And I'll keep track as we go around if
Okay.
you want. So, I don't know who's first.
Leah, go ahead.
What was it?
So we got, there's four.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
Sand Pond, Splash Pad, Brooks Infield, Pavilion.
I
If
think
you have
splash
others,
pad's off the table till we know, so.
Yeah.
I mean, I would put that at
Four.
4,
Okay.
just cause. So I would say Sand Pond, cause get that done and out of here. Then infield and then pavilion, and then splash pad 4, but maybe reprioritize if it comes back.
Yeah, this is
differently.
just the initial poll.
Yeah.
if we get somebody from the-
All right.
No, no, I'm
Who's up?
looking at-
Frankie?
Sand Pond, infield pavilion, what was the fourth one?
Splash pad.
Splash pad.
Is that how you're going too, Frank?
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, sand pond, infield pavilion, yes.
Hey, John?
sand pond,
Okay.
pavilion,
Okay.
infield, splash pad. Pending further information.
Well,
on the
Dave's
splash
going to get
pad.
us all 4 anyway, so we'll be fine.
I'm actually gonna have, good, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Brian, go ahead, but Brian.
Sand pond, infield, pavilion, splash pad, subject to change with more info.
Yes.
Infield.
David?
All right, so sand pond, we're looking at maybe 35.
To 45.
Yeah.
I think it's
How
at
do-
30 to 40.
We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know that
So
for
it's a
sure
guesstimate.
yet.
I
I'd
get
say,
it.
if I were a guessing guy, I'd say 50.
50
Add the
grand.
contingency. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
under promise and over deliver.
Yeah, yeah.
Splash pad,
Wait, what was one? Did you have?
no, I'm not,
Oh.
I'm not prioritizing
Oh,
that, I
okay.
just,
thinking out loud.
I'm thinking out loud. I saw numbers, the high number that I saw was 270.
For what?
Splash pad.
Good.
The infield, 118.
Well, that's a rough figure
That's
as
with
well.
no
Contingency at all.
contingency, correct?
Pavilion
Right.
might.
And
the
technically,
pavilion,
it's
roughly.
Pavilion, my
119.
notes were wrong. I think it's going to be more like 200 plus.
The number was north of 200 and we pulled it.
Right.
Yeah.
When I saw your number, I'm like,
No,
oh,
that
we
was
must have found
wrong.
out.
Yeah, once I sent it out, I realized I mixed up my numbers.
Did you ever get a hold of that company that I,
O'Brien and Sons, or?
wasn't O'Brien, remember I sent you the text? Somebody that popped up.
Oh, yeah. I did call them. I don't know what.
That was a while ago.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll write the check for
I
you.
did call them. They never gave me a quote though.
I'm looking
But I'm
at-
saying at least 200.
So it's roughly, we're looking at CPC numbers, roughly estimates. What did I just say?
600 grand.
For
So
all 4
600.
projects?
600,000.
I don't know. I'm just.
Yeah, if
Spitballing
you're
there.
going highest number, 270 for splash pad, 2 for pavilion,
50
150 for the sand pond, and then another 120.
So you're
call
at
it.
640 before. Yeah. So
So-
700. Somewhere there.
Ain't gonna happen.
Can understand, this is a straw poll.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
we're
we're
just-
not-
So
Doesn't all have to
my
happen at
priorities
once.
will be the pavilion, the splash pad, sand pond, and the infield.
Okay. Phyllis?
I would say sand pond, the infield, pavilion, and then splash pad.
And then just you, then.
Yeah, splash pad, no, sorry, the sand pond, that's gonna be done and get it over with. Let's clean that up. The infield, pavilion, and of course the splash pad, which is the unknown. Are there any others that members want to see if we can support? There was a need out there. You know, there are needs and wants. You know, let's look at our needs and wants. Phyllis?
So I have a question. Would it be possible to work with conservation to get a kayak launching area on Herring River somewhere, like at Bell's Neck? Would that be within
There is one.
recreation? At
There's
Bell's
one
Neck?
right- No, there's, yeah, right across from the
Yeah.
weather deck. I
Yeah.
use it all the time.
At the Herring
Go
Run?
Go under the bridge.
Yep.
Right, oh, I know, I mean the Herring Run.
Oh, down by the bridge, by the
Right.
walk. Oh.
Right, so we'd put in there and go, down the river when the tide's going out or whatever. And it was nice, and now they put up more fences, so there's this little area way over on the right of the Herring Run where you could possibly get in there, but I don't know.
All right.
Is that a recreation thing or is that conservation?
No, that would be
No.
more conservation.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not really our jurisdiction
Yeah.
there.
Anyone else have anything they want to add? John, please?
Just, and I'd be interested to hear other people's input too. Some did, some didn't. The rationale on my priority list, one is because Sand Pond is the oldest
Gotta
project we have.
get
We
it
have to
done,
clean
yeah.
that up.
Yeah,
I did the Pavilion 2 because that was on and has been removed.
Yeah.
I did the infield next and the splash pad last because of the unknown.
Right.
So that's my rationale. The pavilion very well might not be an option
Right.
at 200 or 200.
Yeah, maybe too much. Yeah.
Remember we talked about renting a tent,
Yep.
20 years in a row,
Yeah,
you're renting
yeah.
a tent
right.
to put out back on beans. But
Yeah.
You laugh. It's been a lot of
No,
years.
no, I
and
understand,
$250
believe
million.
me.
Sand-
Except you're gonna have someone
Right.
fight you about tents.
Brian?
Sure.
Good. Brian,
Yeah.
I guess you were next.
Are we doing wants and needs?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely.
Needs and wants.
Needs and wants?
Needs and wants.
These are all dreams, but one is a ropes course in the bowl. I think that'd be a better place for it.
Okay. The hard
These are
part there,
dreams.
so just so you know, the history with that, no, not even the turtles, it's
Yeah.
like access.
Yeah,
Access getting down there and getting back up, unless we build an elevator somehow. But that's been the hurdle in the past.
And then one other dream, this might be a select board thing, but the 204 fields, they're
Yes.
borderline unusable.
Well, I
And
think we
there's
discussed them
unusable.
last night.
Yes, they
They
did.
did?
Yeah.
So just-
I'd have to look at
Some
Yeah.
goals and objectives.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
that's not officially under our jurisdiction yet. It could be in the future.
Okay.
I actually had a experience there. The Lower Cape Bluefins were looking for a practice field.
Football, right?
Yes.
Football, just
What?
3 days a week. I met them over at the 204, and they didn't like it.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
like McPhee Field for a possibility because it's not really getting a ton of use, other than the school uses it for some track events.
No soccer back there anymore?
It's not, all of our games that we have are right behind the building here now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there are some private groups that use it, but it's not used
Yeah.
all the time. So
Rugby still using it?
rugby used it, yep, for their tournament, yep.
But that's like a
It's
3-day
just a,
thing,
yeah, it's
right?
it's
So,
a one-off kind of.
Mr.
So-
Chairman.
Yes.
Can I ask the director a question?
Go ahead.
The Bluefins, they no longer can practice at a tech school?
I guess not. I don't know why not. But
Might just be a conflict in scheduling.
Yeah, it could be. Could be.
So, and I think you're probably gonna get a lot more requests because the numbers seem to be getting a lot more Harwich, Chatham,
Mhm.
Orleans children
Yeah.
than you're getting other Cape,
Yeah.
where it used to be a lot more kind of wealthy East Ham kids. Now it's really centralizing here,
Here, yeah.
in this era, you know.
So they want something closer.
Yeah.
You all set, Brian, with your
Are
needs
you
and
talking
wants?
about the
Yeah.
Bluefins?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Anyone else have any needs or wants or additions that they want to add to the list that we have?
I will rationalize my numbers for Mr. Mahan. I said Sampan, same reason, just let's move on and get this out of here. I said infield over pavilion, just because I feel like the infield, the use it gets will be 10 times the amount that the pavilion will get. That's my thought, so
Okay.
put it where we're using it the most. And then pavilion after that and splash pad, subject to
Good.
change.
Good, thank you. Anybody else?
Where'd the price come for $270 for splash pads? Is that just?
That's the,
That's what I
That's
got
just,
from, if you Google, you can go online and Google it, in any of the major companies, Samson and Wesson, not Smith and Wesson, Samson and Wesson.
Big difference.
Yeah, they do a lot of the splash pads up in the Boston area, Belmont, Arlington, the city of Boston itself. And all that information is online and you can access it.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr.
Are we
Chair,
good?
you got
Yes,
one.
sir.
I'd like to encourage the commission to shoot a little higher in regards to Sand Pond. Like 4 years ago, the commission and the rec department put together the Sand Pond revitalization project. Unfortunately, it did not pass town meeting, but there was a number of improvements that were put forward for Sand Pond in that project. And I think that needs to be revisited, reworked, and put forward again. But in addition to the restroom, and I would like to disabuse the commission of the notion that get Sand Pond done and get it out of here. There's lots of problems at Sand Pond that are not going away just when the restroom is finally replaced. There is a building there that was hazardous as hell to me. That's got to be raised and removed. There is a retaining wall that should be either replaced or removed. The pond needs to have ADA access. That could be done easily, but we need the money and the process to get it done. And there's probably other improvements as well. The beach needs to be replenished. We could use a truckload of sand to make it, the beach has just been eroded right into the pond. And it really needs to be replenished on probably an annual basis. And I don't see any way other than the CPC process to get the money to do these things. So, you know, it will be great when the restroom is done, but that's not the end. That's just the most pressing of a long list of needs that Sand Pond has. I think the town needs to be reminded that it is a recreation area. It's not a conservation area. It's not a natural wilderness or anything like that. It's not Bell's Neck. It is a recreation area, and we need to maintain it. And I think the town has let this go. Well, I can tell you, the restroom has been on the capital plan, on and off the capital plan since 2012, if not longer. That's 12 years to replace a restaurant, which is, this is not just saying it's low priority, it's saying it's no priority. So-
Excuse me, that's not true.
John?
We passed the CPC article. The only delay going on now, sir, to say it's not a priority is unfair. Because we got an article, we put it together, we had the bids, and unfortunately, the bids came in way higher than the money we had. So, no, that wasn't in 2012, this was in 18 or 19 maybe.
19.
So, we've tried. We tried to do an additional town meeting article down there to beautify that, and we were blown out of the water. And part of that article was to tear the building down. And town meeting got up in droves and shot it down. Don't need it, we don't want people there.
Yeah, those were undoubtedly abutters who were worried about crowds or something like that, I don't know. But those problems haven't gone away just because town meeting said no. And I know for, my own efforts that the select board is not interested in solving the problem. When I contacted them, they referred me to Mr. Beebe and to the Recreation Commission. So it's up to this room to take the lead on getting these things done. That's the point.
And that's what we tried to do.
But the I'm not arguing, I'm just arguing the bathroom part. The bathroom, we have tried.
When I talk about, low priority, no priority, I'm not talking so much about the Recreation Commission, I'm talking about the town. The town, from my point of view, seems to have it in for Sand Pond. They just don't care very much about it at all. So, I think that's gotta change, and I hope the Recreation Commission will lead the way to do that.
David?
Can I offer this as a suggestion to you? There was a group of people from the area, from the entire area of West Harwich, that didn't want the building torn down, didn't want, we were gonna put a little playground, a couple
Not
of
even a
swings
playground.
there.
Yeah.
They
Swing
didn't
set.
want that.
Yeah.
They didn't want anything done with the beach. They liked the idea of replacing the restroom only. And that's what John is talking about, happened at town meeting. A lot of us at this board put a lot of time and a lot of effort to beautify that place, because there's still a lot of young people with young families that live up in that, I'm sorry, I'm raising my voice, that live up in that area. And they were just, those young folks didn't show up to town meeting. Had they shown up and put up a fight, things might have been different.
I think we need to fight that fight again. That's my point.
We'll try to help you gather some people
Like I said,
together.
the problems, I can't imagine why somebody would argue to maintain that building. It's a fire hazard.
It's nothing, and I
It's a
think a
vandalism
homeless
hazard.
person.
My argument with
there
that building was
is-
there's powder post beetles all over the place when you go in there. It's gonna fall down at some
Yeah.
point, and if someone gets hurt, that's when the town will pay attention to it.
John?
My recommendation, folks, you're not gonna get the answer you want right here. Because if it's CPC money, it's a long, and you have learned tonight, it's a long, drawn-out, painful process. I would be at a Monday night's meeting on the public comment, bringing up exactly what you just brought up to us.
Yep.
Put it on their radar.
Yep.
That should be,
Again,
that's a
I-
capital expense.
Yeah,
Again.
I will follow the CPC process to that end, but I hope the commission will follow that.
You're not understanding. I'm not saying that CPC isn't the way to go. Monday night, I would be before the selectmen on the public comment, bringing your concerns to the Board of Selectmen. It has nothing to do with CPC. It has to do with being on their radar. If you think it's a safety issue, bring it up. Everything you just explained to us, I would recommend you put on their radar. They may tell you they'll agenda it, but at least it's been made public again.
I'd be happy to do that, but I'll repeat myself, and having addressed these concerns via correspondence. First of all, they ignored me for a year. Then, Mr. McCaskill referred it to Mr. Beebe, and he had responded to me. So, like I said, I don't think they're very interested, but I'd be happy to make the point with them again.
I think if you get, my sense is if you're gonna get any kind of support, you've gotta go through that process. And if they do show any kind of support, we will obviously support it as well,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
I'm just gonna throw this in because there are enough of us who are interested in Sand Pond and that neighborhood, that a group of us actually raked the whole beach last year and will do again this year. To get the sticks and stones and litter and pop, 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 get that off of there. And we did talk to Link Hooper about putting us on the list to get a shipment of some of the sand. We made some phone calls, it was all spoken for. I said, put us at the top of the list next year, will you? We'll rake off the beach. And my husband said, don't say that, they'll have us rake it every year. And I said, well, I'm getting older, but we cared enough. We didn't want people to have broken glass and litter and coming to the beach and kids there. So we care enough and help.
And Mr. Mahan is exactly right. That camera works wonders. In front of that camera, that's where you need to be.
And if you
That's
have,
a board of selectmen meeting.
and if you have that large group of people, get their signatures, bring them to the meeting to
Bring
support.
those folks
Yeah.
to the meeting.
Strengthen
Lee is
numbers.
exactly right.
Yep.
Strengthen
The more
numbers.
support you have there,
Next Monday?
the wider range you'll reach.
They've gone
The
for
more.
2 weeks now.
Yeah, every other week.
Every other
week,
So-
July 8th.
Yeah, July 8th.
Yes, yeah.
Well, we can do that. And I think that we could probably garner a lot of support and
Bring them all.
get them all to come to the town meeting too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Making that decision, so just
Thank
do a
you.
little prompting.
Public comment is there for a reason.
Thank you, appreciate your comment.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for listening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Before, David, I have a question about CPC. Maybe I'm wrong and I'm getting my message, but I watched a select board meeting one evening and they talked about this potential of $369,000 that might be available for.
Thank you.
Good night, thank you.
Thanks for your time.
$369,000 that might be available to add to the CPC funding. Is that something you can comment on? Where is
Yeah,
that money come?
there was, the Board of Selectmen are gonna return $369,000 to the CPC. But that's gonna be going into the open space bucket. That's where it came from.
I was under
So it's
the,
restricted to where it's gonna go.
okay.
It's not gonna go into the general fund of CPC.
So I thought you got up and, as I observed that night, you got up and made a comment about that money being placed back into the CPC funding source. And that the money should be used at the discretion of CPC committee in terms of supporting programs. Am I not listening to?
No, you didn't get that right. It has to go back to the most restrictive,
Okay.
where it came from.
Okay.
So that's where it'll
So
go.
it's not-
But again, when you look at the totality of CPC money, that 369,000 could be used for conservation. And then the total fund
Yeah.
stays the same.
Well, I guess as a
So-
follow-up to that, David, if there is that kind of money available, and you take care of the needs of the other groups that you just mentioned, why couldn't we take $40,000 or $50,000 and take care of the Sand Pond project now, rather? Is that a possibility?
You can't.
Yeah.
It's, again,
It has to be voted by town meeting?
no.
No.
It's, the money comes back into the bucket from which it.
I get that, I get that.
So that's the end of that conversation.
It comes,
It has nothing to do with recreation.
okay. So that money
can
that.
only be used for recreation that comes from the general fund of CPC.
Okay.
And the land bank has been paid off, is that
Land
correct?
bank's finished,
So that's more money going into the general fund.
that's right. And that's why.
Quite a bit.
That's why they're raising, that's why they
So my
want
bottom
to
line
reduce
is, David,
3% to 2%.
The bottom line is,
I'm not for
there's
that.
no excess money available to do any of these other things that we need to do in terms of CPC and so on.
The last time we met, I made a recommendation to this board to go on and do as we normally do.
Yep.
Just continue that. Do as we normally do.
Okay, all right, let's move on then. We all done with CPC projects? Are we good with that? We have our priorities, we know where we're going?
Oh, can I say, Eric, what did it tally up
Yep,
to?
so Sand Pond 1, Infield 2, Pavilion 3, Splash Pad 4.
Okay, we good?
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Commission reorg, I'm gonna see if we can defer that for a later date. I want to get through some of the other items and do that before we adjourn, okay? If that's
Oh, okay. You'll come back to it.
Yes.
Because
Okay.
it has to be done this meeting, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It
yeah.
usually goes at the bottom.
Approval of minutes,
Or the top.
There's no minutes
okay,
this
so we're
month.
done.
Beautiful.
All right, Recreate Director's Report, Eric.
Yep, I'll just hit on, we hit on a bunch of these. Fencing repair update, they were out there today, working. And then they're gonna come back, they're just telling me a time this week, to take a look at, again, at Senior Memorial and at Brooks Park dugout.
And Potterfield.
And Potterfield,
How
yeah,
about
those three, to
the
get quotes on them.
main gate for the pickleball courts?
What was the one there?
Yeah, scraping the main gate for the
Main gate
pickleball courts,
scraping?
the old courts, the main gate.
All right,
It sags, you know, because it's,
Potter, yep, okay, I'll have them do all four of those, or give us a quote on all.
What about the dugout at Brooks Park, did they,
That's one of them.
That's
yeah.
one of them?
Yep, Brooks Park. Yep.
okay, so we got them all,
Yep, and they were working on White House Field post,
okay? I saw the post in there.
the gate at Potter,
Yeah,
and the playground fencing.
it's
okay,
revolving fund.
Yes.
all right.
Um,
Can you give us an update as we go along with that? So
Sure.
that we know when they're
Sure.
done and so on, send us an email and let us know that this has been done or that's been done.
yeah,
and so
which
on.
down the list.
Okay.
Got it. Yep.
I know this sounds crazy, but is the spinner ever been fixed?
The part, no, so everything's set to go. The part can come in and, I believe Highway was gonna fix it, right?
I thought the part came in, but I didn't think we were gonna fix it. I thought you were gonna,
Oh, Lane was talking to somebody.
talking to Sean?
Well, we have, yeah, I think so.
We can look into it.
Okay.
I mean, I've never,
You
I'll
don't
check
fix-
with
you
Elaine
don't fix
too.
spinners?
Because we have the part.
I can fix whatever,
Yeah,
but,
we have
Add
the
that
part.
to the resume now.
yeah, I mean,
I'll
I'll try to
check
get good
with
at that
Elaine.
too.
I'll see who Elaine talked to last.
Yeah, I mean, if we can do that, I'd love to see that fixed.
Yeah.
They're playing on it anyway, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Todd,
Property maintenance report?
did you want me to-
Oh, you'll go, you got more?
did you want to talk about pickleball signage?
Yeah, go ahead. please.
So the signs should be in any day, but it's whether, the open play courts, we had talked about last meeting being the last two courts of the new courts. In the meantime, temporary signs were put up that said courts 5 and 7. But, the vote was last meeting, the motion and the vote was for the last two courts. I think it's 15, 16. So, we have signs coming in, they're already numbered, but there's signs coming in for open play, public courts. So, I don't know.
Phyllis, you're shaking your head, but
Well, because I'm there like probably 28 days out of 30 in the month. And it happened again today. People show up, like a group of 4 young people. Nobody says anything to them. They don't say anything, but they go on court 6 and 8 every single time.
Well, they're not signed yet.
They're not
Right.
signed, but even if they were signed, they don't read the signs. I mean, this is great that we're gonna have signs.
Yeah.
But and then more people came, and where did they go? Same courts.
Yeah.
That's what
They
people
just
do.
jump over the fence, yeah. They
That's
sit on
what
the fence
people
and
do.
go.
You can tell them to do something else, but they're still gonna
But
go
now
to
that the
other
signs are
courts.
there, you can point to the signs.
Yeah.
You can say,
There's a program
So,
scheduled
follow-
here.
yeah,
Go to
follow the
open
signs.
public
You don't
courts.
get that far.
Maybe you could roll up and
Yeah.
hit on those.
So, I have a question. When you have a softball game, do people come on your field and say, okay, now, you have to explain to them what field they can go to?
Well, no, you could say this
Sure.
field is rented, or
Well,
this
I
field
know,
is
but I'm just saying this
being
is,
used.
yeah. When you're there,
Does
every.
anyone ever have a conversation with them?
And then they could call us and I could
Yep,
confirm.
sometimes,
It-
sometimes they wanna come and play with us, but like in this case, well, of course, hopefully
need
they
to make
won't
an
be putting
appointment.
chairs
They-
on
you
the
know,
court anymore.
These
and they
fields are
won't be
not there
putting-
just for anybody.
No, I'm just
unilateral-
saying,
Yeah,
I'm
for
just saying,
unilateral using
in
them.
practicality, they wanna park their car near where they can play. It's just the way it works. So now you're gonna tell them to go over there, which is fine, you can tell them to go over there, but they still don't, that's not where they want to
It's
go.
40 feet away, Phyllis.
Yeah.
People are there for exercise, they don't want to walk. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
They sit on the fence and swivel over.
They go over the fence and they automatically go
Once
to
the
those
signs
courts.
are there, they can't do it anymore.
But they,
So.
They won't
But
get it.
I've run into the same thing when I host field hockey clinics.
Yeah.
People will show up with their dogs, or kids will show up to
Can't
play
use this
soccer,
right now.
and I have to say, sorry, this isn't use, it's rented. We're out of here too. Come back.
Yeah.
It's the way you have to
Do we
be.
have staff there in the summer?
No,
Walter doesn't work?
Nope.
What's he work, spring and the fall? No summer?
pretty much. He didn't come back this summer. We got no word from him, so, yep.
No response, no?
But pickleball doesn't want him there either, so they don't want a person there.
well,
I mean,
he doesn't really do
Do-
anything. He
Why
sits
is not
in a
true?
car,
Why
he
is
goes
that?
out for coffee.
well, I'm not gonna get in this.
Okay.
Yeah, why is pickleball not wanting somebody to help?
Well, the thing
supervise?
is, it's the same as the only way to completely eliminate that problem is to have a staff member in every rec facility saying, this is
Yeah,
rented right now.
exactly.
You know, but at a certain point, like you said, if, like, we have a baseball program, John's down at Brooks right now using it, and somebody shows up to play, we tell them, sorry, we're using it right now, we'll be done at
Go use the
7.
field behind the
I
trees.
had some pickleball people show up to the 204 one night when I was doing indoor field hockey, and they were just confused. I was
Yeah.
like, no, it's not pickleball time. It's
Field hockey.
field hockey time, and they had to go. Like, it wasn't a huge problem.
And the only way to eliminate having to
was
do that
just-
is to have
We
a
have
staff
families
member.
coming down to the softball field, but they have to reserve the field
Yeah.
on a Sunday. They have to put an application form in, they have to pay the
Right.
rental fee and so on and so forth. They just can't inadvertently go in there and
Right.
use those fields.
Right. I'm just saying, this is what people do. We'll just tell them to do otherwise, it's fine. But
I mean, yeah, at the end of
It's
the
like-
day, I think the
People
conversation
also
is
let their dogs run loose.
Have your
Signs
president or
everywhere.
chairman of
Exactly.
your group there be, help enforce some of these rules.
Well,
Well,
it
it's-
doesn't need to be hostile, just an adult
Yeah,
conversation.
exactly.
Hey,
Those two
Goes
clubs
to
right
another
there.
court.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then if they give you a hard
27 feet away.
time, then they can call us.
Yeah.
We'll confirm it.
And on the weekends,
What's that?
and who do we call on the weekends?
Me.
Because it's
He's
not,
here.
I'm
it's
here.
not, okay, it's not so much the weekdays, but July 4th is coming up.
I'll be here.
Good.
And if I mean, the whole staff,
Yeah.
yeah. We have more staff on the weekends than the weekdays in the
Yeah.
A long
summer.
time ago, this guy will intimidate anybody that gets.
All right, we good, guys? We, go ahead, Deb.
That was all as far as updates, and then if there's questions, a lot of the items we kind of hit on too. And then, was I supposed to do maintenance report? Is that what we're?
Yeah, why don't you go on to the main.
Maintenance report, nothing too new on there. It's pretty self-explanatory, and I'd be happy to answer any questions
Okay,
anybody might have.
are we good? Budget report?
Budget report is also in your packet. Our revolving fund number is very high right now. We are just starting to pay out for camp counselors. This is our first week of camp, so that'll start getting $4 to $5 grand a week coming out of there.
Decrease, yeah.
Is it over $1 million?
No, not even
Not even
close.
close.
Phyllis, you got,
Yeah, I have a question, it might be
More than
under
I have,
director's
though.
report.
Sure.
There are signs around town that there's beach yoga at Red River Beach, and I've walked by
Yep.
there many times. Is
Yep.
that an official program, or is that a?
That's so she pays a fee to do that program every year. Yep.
Same person?
Early in the morning,
Yeah.
before the
Right.
beach is open. Michelle.
she's been
Inslee.
doing it for a couple of years.
Well, I've
Long
been walked
time.
by them many times, I just saw
I
the sign.
actually have another director's report.
Sure.
I saw a food truck at Bank Street Beach.
Yep, that's
Is
the
that
one.
us? or
Yep, that's
so
us. That's the one that we weren't gonna have because their
the
menu
conflict-
conflicted.
Okay.
They changed their menu
Oh, good.
to make it work. So
Okay.
it all worked out with ice cream truck and everybody else.
Nobody around
Yeah.
there.
No, they're starting tomorrow.
Red River
That's
Barbecue.
the same Red River Barbecue.
Oh,
Yep,
okay.
I believe tomorrow is their
Nice.
start date. So we'll have Red River Barbecue there.
I need to pick my hanging tag
You
up.
have the one at Bank Street and then the ice cream truck.
Okay, perfect.
Good, are we good there?
Thank you.
One more thing. Mr.
Go
Chair.
ahead, please, David.
Have we had any success with the MyRec program online?
So.
Paying?
Paying.
We're paying, we should, so they needed another copy of the contract. That was the latest holdup at Town Hall, to get the payment option done. It's been great as far as registrations. People are really, setting up their accounts.
Yep.
and it's working out well. We just need that payment, which I'm hoping will be any time, because it defeats the purpose when people sign up and do everything online, but then they have to come in and drop off a check.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting. We sent them all the contract information. They said they needed that. They did have it from the
I
beginning.
believe it was brought up last night too.
Yeah. Yep.
So at the.
So they have
yeah.
everything everything they've asked of us, we've given to them. So.
Right.
Okay.
There'll probably
An
be a
arm and
fee
a
for
leg.
signing up with a credit
Are
card.
we,
There
all
is.
set,
Yeah.
Dave?
All set, thank you.
Let me jump down to the community preservation. You got anything, David?
All set. We are-
Okay, we're all set.
Yeah.
So
Which one?
let's go
CPC.
back to Chairman's report. I just want to take a moment. We good?
Yeah, sorry.
I want to take a moment to thank all of you for supporting me during the past year as chairman. And it's been a hectic, it's been a hectic 1 year that John left for me, and but
I feel some payback coming.
I want to thank you for your guidance and support and the input that many of you gave me as we move forward. I think the important thing is that whoever is going to be chairman and vice chairman, we've got a lot on our plate. We've got a lot that this commission has to do. And more importantly, we all have to be very vigilant in terms of what we do as a commission and make sure that the programs that we put in place are fully covered, they're fully supervised, and that we work diligently to see if we can get new programs available to all of our kids and our seniors as well. Because again, this commission is responsible for age 0 to 100. Okay, we've got a lot of guys that are in there. Pardon me?
1 to 2, we used to say.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't want to put that on.
New slogan.
Yeah.
I didn't want to. I said 100,
Some
0
kind of
to 100.
Yeah, right.
That's what Lee Culver used to say.
Well, I used to say it as well, but I just try to clean it up a little bit, Frank.
Yeah, good.
Thank
In any
you.
event, it's important that we stay together and work hard to get the rec department back with the image that we once had. I know there are some people still upset with us out there for not doing the kinds of things that we should have done or addressed some of the concerns that they brought forth to us. But again, we are just limited in terms of what we can do without the proper staffing and sometimes without the proper budgeting. So again, whoever is going to take over for this, over for me as chair and vice chair, again, I think you need to be in touch with Eric and make sure that Eric is doing the kinds of things that we expect of him, as well as John, our new program specialist. He seems to be a young man who is a go-getter, and he's showing some good attitudes and some results at this point. But let's work hard as a commission to make sure that we do what we need to do to make sure that the Rec Commission, once again, has the support from the community and has the image that we once enjoyed many years ago. So on that, I want to thank you all. I'm stepping down, and now Rio.
Vaughn, thank you.
Thank you, Vaughn.
Thank you.
My pleasure. It was
Thank you
a
very much.
pleasure.
And I'd like to make a motion in the same breath that Mr. Mahan, would you consider being the chairman
No,
of the
just,
Recreation?
You just make the
and
motion.
Youth
Just
Don't
nominate.
ask me.
Just
Don't
nominate.
ask
Yeah, I second.
It's a motion.
Okay, we have a motion, and then we have a second by Frank to John Mahan as chair. All in favor?
Aye.
All
I'd
opposed?
like to,
It's unanimous.
I'd like to make
I
the
override
next
John's
motion
vote.
that, Leah, would you like to be?
Why do you keep asking her?
Just
Oh,
make
you
the
asked
motion.
me. You
nominate.
didn't ask
Make a
him.
motion to nominate Leah as the assistant chair,
Vice chair.
vice chair.
Is there a
Chair.
second to
I
that,
second that.
Frank? Any
All those in
discussion?
favor?
All in discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? It's
Nay.
unanimous.
No.
I want to keep this in the circle for a reason. Vaughn, I'd like to nominate you as secretary or
Whatever, the treasurer.
treasurer.
Thank you.
Second.
Okay, is that a position?
At one time, again, is there a vote?
We have a
Motion and a vote, all those in favor?
Aye.
At one time, as treasurer years ago, I used to sit in the office and check all the bills and sign them all. And I guess that is no longer necessary or needed, okay?
They got rid
So-
of that, yeah.
Everything's electronic.
Yeah.
But there's,
Yeah, we used to do it.
But the point is being
It's something
able to
coming.
observe and
Yeah.
inspect all of those bills and make sure that they were going to the right place and they were paid expeditiously and so on and so forth. I would then initial them and approve them. And now, I guess Elaine said that that is not necessary to do anymore, so.
Hasn't been for
We haven't done
years.
that.
So why do we need a treasurer? It's just a,
Yeah, Lee used to call us to come up and sign the bills.
yeah,
Yeah,
Mr. Chair,
yes, sir.
open session?
yeah, I got something.
Oh, okay, because Jared's sitting back.
Yeah, it's our thing, yeah.
Okay.
I can give you a review on it if we.
Go ahead,
Good to go?
please.
So,
Forget
yeah,
about you,
Jared was here too, and I'll just give you the update. So we had a group called Firecracker Sports that wanted to reserve White House Field for a large showcase tournament. It's a private, like AAU group. They charge teams massive amounts of money to enter these. It was for July 7th and 8th, which is a Sunday and Monday. The request, and we have the request in, they have not paid yet, we have not signed it yet. But they wanted 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Sunday and 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Monday. After talking to Jared, he had major concerns, and I agree that much continuous use will do some serious damage to the field. I talked to Jared earlier today. He could fill you in too, but I came up with maybe getting in touch with Firecracker Sports tomorrow, see if they'd be willing to play their daytime games at Kroll and Brooks Park, and just play a night game each night at White House Field.
I mean, 12 hours straight?
It's game after game
It's
after
all
game after
It's
game.
different teams. You got
Yeah.
like 25 teams.
Wow.
But there's no time to rehab the field in between.
No way to drag the fields, line the
Right.
fields and
It
do all
just
of
does
this.
so much wear and tear.
That's
We've done it
straight,
before.
straight baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't have
35
a
innings in
So
one
how
day
can we
is
say
way
no?
too much to do
How
on
can we say
one
no?
No,
field.
they
Oh,
took
yeah,
your
yeah.
proposal. I mean, they don't have
When
a place,
and
they
then
need
when's
it.
the next Mariners game?
After that?
The next day.
The next
day.
Tuesday, yeah, so there's no.
And not to mention, we could have rainouts that push things around, so having this group in the middle of, the beginning of July, if it was September, it's a different story.
Yeah.
But July's a rough time to do it.
It's me.
Yeah, that's you, John.
Can
looking
I
at
ask the
me.
director a question?
Go right ahead.
And this goes back to our minimum, maximum amount we can charge?
Well, it's a one-day event, so it's $175 a day. Because it's a one-day booking of the field.
That's, yeah.
So they're paying $350. I believe it's $2,600 per team to enter.
Yeah, that's not worth it.
Mr.
That's
Director,
not
what's
worth
your
it.
recommendation?
My recommendation, go ahead, Jeff.
They've been here before, they've made like 40 grand.
Huh.
So what did the fields look like?
Garbage. It took me months to bounce
easy, right?
back.
So moved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not.
And I don't
worth it.
think I need a vote, but that's our plan going forward, that I'm gonna
I
approach them
think-
tomorrow, say this is, we have these other two fields for the bulk of your use.
Yep.
If it works out without rainouts and you wanna have one nice night game or two nice night games, fine, but you
Yeah,
can't
like
use
their
it for 12 hours a
championship,
day.
their
Yeah.
end of day champions
why not?
play
Why
that
just-
field.
Just cut it out.
What-
Other towns.
Just say go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Well, I don't,
Because they
we
go
have
down,
fields they can use.
because it's a knockout, right?
Yeah,
So that the
I
end of the
believe
day,
so.
they have two teams left.
left at the
Those,
end, yeah.
those two teams can have White House, like, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And they can play Kroll, if they want to play their day
That's
games
not
at
being
Kroll.
unreasonable.
No, I don't think
No.
so at all. And that's two games, a Sunday night and a Monday night game.
Yep.
That's easy enough to handle,
You
right?
can handle a
Yeah.
regular baseball game, but
Yeah.
Not 10.
5-10
No,
games a day, it's
no,
like, what
not
are you
at all.
doing?
No.
So,
Just a word about these fields. Again, I'm very much involved with fields, as you know. We don't have the staff in town. Okay, Jared is pretty much alone. He's got a little help. I think you got some help.
I
How much?
got some Mariners.
Yeah. But
But they're
again,
only here for like a month.
Yeah, right.
but Jared is inundated with a lot of things that go on in this town. He's got all these fields to mow and to take care of and so on and so forth. He's pretty much alone. These fields are getting an overabundance of use, and I think we need to be careful of terms of just automatically and unilaterally saying, let's give it out, let's let them have it, because, they have to line these fields, they have to cut the grass, they have a lot of work to maintain these fields. I know senior softball, we pay a guy to do all of that, okay? That's a separate separate situation that we have with Potter Memorial. We pay somebody to line our fields, drag our fields, take care of the grounds, and so on and so forth, trying to help Jared out with what he's got going. So you got to be careful on how much we load on these folks that work for us in town.
Anything,
Go ahead, Brian.
anything else under open session, Brian?
So I guess that was my question. In the future, if someone wants to come in like this, can they be part of their contract to say like, hey, you need to supply a ground person to help?
Well, that's.
I don't know if they'd want, you probably wouldn't want.
Sometimes we don't want people trying to help.
Right.
Because they don't help all the time. They'll take play, they want to play, they'll push stuff around, they'll make it work, yeah.
Okay.
Can I just also add a comment onto this as well? I know we have our day field charge, would you say $175
Yeah.
for the day? If it's something like this, like a tournament where we know they're bringing in 40, 50 grand for the weekend, can we have almost, I don't know, like
You're thinking like a sliding scale kind of thing?
it's not a sliding scale, but yeah, exactly. No, not a sliding scale, but like an organizational fee, like an organization fee.
Yeah.
So like,
One caveat to that.
yeah,
Gotta make sure they're not 501c3.
I do not believe
No,
they
there's
would.
no
No
way
way.
they are.
No,
Not
a
if they
lot of
charge
these
that much.
AAUs
Again, they
are
could be
not.
fundraising for
Yeah,
something.
if
Yeah.
they charge that much
Well,
for entry fees, they're not a 501.
No, they're not. AAUs are making
How
so
often does this
much
happen
money.
here?
Once.
Then
Then
we don't
yeah,
need
Yeah.
that's true.
I mean, this kind of thing.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, we
Yeah,
have
that's
like
true.
the little AAU groups, but they
We were
spread
getting
out.
10
No.
requests a year, we'd come up with a policy.
But
for
this
one.
kind of
That's
thing.
that's a good.
The only
point.
thing that compared to this is when we used to host the ECAC tournament here. Similar to that.
Okay.
But this is ECAC was at least like a collegiate division.
Yep.
You
They did a
know,
lot of damage too, but,
Yeah.
they played constant games.
and that's like kids in school. I mean,
This
these
is
are
taking
too,
advantage
but
of
they're
families.
very elite AAU.
Open session, Brian, anything
Eight-year-olds.
else?
Nothing else.
David,
All set?
Phyllis?
All set.
There's
Just
no
a
such thing
reminder,
as an elite 12-year-old.
just a reminder, folks, that we got
There's just
the
not.
circus is coming on, I got some dates that I
I
want to
see the
pass on.
signs.
But I talked to Angela, and she is looking for some help. Hold on for a minute.
Should we ask
While
Brian
he's
to
looking,
leave
anything
the-
for open session? Leah, Frank?
Angela and the committee is looking for some help, some assistance on the 17th and 18th, which is a Wednesday and Thursday night. I'm helping out as a parking host. Okay, so if any of you want to help parking or anything else, call Angela and she'll address you to the chairman of the volunteer group, and there is a number of things that need to be helped with this thing. On the first 2 days, the 15th, 16th, there is practice, so there's no need for us to be there. They need somebody there on the Wednesday and Thursday, the 17th and 18th, and then on the 19th, the circus group packs up and they have to be out by noon that day, on the Friday that morning. So hopefully we can help out with the circus and give her some support.
Pray for sunshine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay?
Well, they have a tent, right?
Yeah.
No
At
worried
the
about
field,
that.
but you're right with the field.
Yeah, exactly.
As I see Jared shaking his head over there.
By the way, finally, if I may, did we ever get any response from the town hall about the letter sent out asking for waivers for use of the fields as a nonprofit group, some of the ones?
For
Senior softball and others?
no,
have
I got
sent
no
letters.
response yet.
So,
No.
Don't even ask.
nothing. I know that senior softball has asked for some consideration and you
For the
told me-
classic.
For the classic, and it's been sent up to.
Yep.
And he hasn't
I
responded.
haven't gotten any.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just do what we want.
There will be 75 teams coming in for the classic
Wow, I
this
was
year.
just gonna ask you that. That's a
75.
record.
We had 63 last year. When I started, we had 8.
Wow.
And we have 75 coming in that after Labor Day. It'll be close to 2,000 softball players in town. They'll be renting all of the hotels and motels and the restaurant. The Chamber of Commerce is very much involved with us this year again. They're doing a lot of work for the league. But
Wow.
we turned away people already.
Because they used to go to Yarmouth all the time, right?
Yeah, we just turned that people away. We don't have the room. We don't have the fields. So that's it.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Second.
All in
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those-
Go Celtics.
Yeah, go
Yeah.
So
Panthers.
we are meeting
Yeah.
next month.
That ship is
Oh,
sailed.
yeah. when
We
is
are
it?
meeting next month?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
John, are we meeting next month?
my thought is that off her?
What's that? No, not yet.
No, not yet.
If we can schedule a town administrator, I'd say we have a meeting.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay.
Let's do it.
I'll let everybody know.
And it's the 23rd?
That works.
Yeah.
Whatever night works.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Jared.
I just forgot my sweater.
Good night, folks.
Good night, everyone.
Sure.